Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review. I've started to class these KBB models as third-party. They are, in essence, blatant knockoffs, but they do a little bit of extra engineering, slightly different paint applications, so they are borderline. This is the KBB Skywind, also known as the MSS-D02K. It's part of their Master Scale series, and of course it is Skywarp. Taking a look at the back of the box, we've got a nice little transformation sequence going on. We've got alloy parts included. We have firing missiles as well as his standard weaponry. We have the movable nose cone. We have the air brakes. Exquisite realism. And Skywarp gets his very own cape. Now, TF Direct always package things securely, wrapped in bubble wrap and shipping bags, but KBB have helped by putting their figures in bags inside this massive plastic clamshell, keeping everything intact and keeping everything safe. Kubianbao give us a huge set of instructions. Right, here he is out of his packaging. The difference between him and the Yes models, basically we get a different colour stand. The Yes model, the BB7, BBQ give us kind of a smoked brown-ish stand. Now the plane and jet mode itself is slightly different. We do get the additional features that KBB have been giving us. Firstly, the build quality on this is absurdly good. It is a very sturdy, very strong figure. It feels very professional and actually, in my opinion, is better than what Takara gave us. I know it's always easier to improve on somebody else's design, isn't it? But props up to Takara for giving us the jet modes in the first place, but man, they really have improved this. Let's just check out the accessories. Now, the accessories with these Seekers are exactly the same with each of the KBB Seekers. The difference being they changed the colour. We do get the crystally clear Pilot and the Doctor. We get two very sexy looking shoulder pads for Skywarp. We get these very nice extended launching missiles for his arms. Now, they're not null rays. Starscream has null rays. I've been corrected on this, haven't I? What are Skywarps called? Let me know in the comments section below. And we do get a very gorgeous, very deep purple cape as well. That's going to look fantastic on Skywarp. Skywarp is king. What Seeker would be complete without a Megatron, which can attach to the underside? This is made of die-cast. And lastly, we get two of these missile pods, which have a splash of colour on them, and we also get a very nice crown, again splashed with that deep purple. Now, unlike the Takara and Yes model counterparts, KBB have decided to include a second set of pegs on their wings, which allows us to store the missile pods and the null ray looking weapons on the jet mode without having to switch these out, which is a fantastic addition. I have no idea why Takara didn't do that in the first place. And again, from looking on the underside here, we do have a different waist section. The waist kind of crotch section on the KBB models is based on the MP03 versions of the Seeker molds as opposed to the more recent MP11. It doesn't really affect it that much. It just looks a little bit different. I think the idea was to get a little bit more range on the movements, but that doesn't really happen. And just looking at the underside here, you instantly notice this really bold, striking silver detailing. It's very vibrant, and these guys have got so much weight to them. Right, here we have them alongside the Yes model version of Thundercracker. As you can see, the purple is vastly different. It's more of a babyish pastel colour on the Yes model. What KBB have done, they have chosen to go down the toy accuracy route, and as you can see, the deco on the actual wings is the same as what we got with the original Generation 1 toys, whereas the Yes model and Takara are actually going along the lines of the cartoon accuracy, where all of the decos are the same. It's entirely up to you which one you want to get. TF Direct do stock both, and both feel very solid figures, but I love the fact that we've got all of these options now. It's fantastic. And just so you can see the difference on the underside of the jet modes as well, the silvers are definitely different. The actual colours themselves are very different. Even the blacks that are used are kind of different. This is a much darker black, if that makes sense. This one feels almost a very dark smoked black. It's slightly different. I know it's obviously a different factory, different molds, etc., but having them in hand, it does look different. I personally prefer the cartoon look, but I definitely can't knock KBB. They've done an outstanding job. I mean, just look at the extra detailing, and their silver really does pop. Oh, you guys are going to tell me off if I don't show off the little features, etc. We do have the little radar dish thing underneath the nose cone there. The cockpit section does pop up. It's just a seat in there. We can put our pilots in. Nothing untoward. And of course, I did mention it earlier on, we do get the air brake system incorporated. It's a very nice Seeker, and they are very affordable. I got these on a deal. It was TF Direct. I think it was $89. I think, and they done it so that was shipped. They had a special offer on, I think it was around Halloween. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? For a Seeker, I know the Seeker mold is kind of aging. It's not aging well either, and some of these are slightly outdated now compared to some of the more modern Masterpiece figures. But it's a great way to build up your Seeker army. And here he is with those extra missile pods on. See, I think that looks really good on the jets. That's a really nice look for him. Now, I'm not going to go through his transformation because I've covered the transformation in both the Starscream and the Thundercracker review. Please refer to those. I will include a link for both of those at the end of the video. The Seeker mold, the transformation doesn't change. It's exactly the same for all of the Seekers. I will, of course, cover the transformation when we get to like the cone heads, but for the rest of these Seekers, please refer back to those videos. Now, as I'm transforming him, now is a really good time to show you the differences that KBB have made to this mold. They've given us this really nice grooved section on the sliders that isn't present on the normal Seeker mold, and they've also given us a really large extended peg section, and that comes into play when we tab the torso in, because it really does secure that torso into place. And here he is all transformed up into his robot mode, and he is glorious. I really like the colour scheme, but like I said, it is very much the same as the original toy, as opposed to the more popular, I guess, take with the cartoon accuracy look. But that being said, it's a very nice figure. I mean, just look at that. I mean, how many Seekers actually hold together? They've extended these pegs on the back here, and they're kind of widened them, so they're meant to tab in a little bit more securely. They're not brilliant. They don't tab in amazingly, but they tab in nonetheless. Obviously, we don't have any horrible Takara stamps on the back of the wings either, which is always nice. The shoulders, they can move nicely. The chest doesn't really come unstuck. I know it comes untabbed a lot on some of the Takara versions. No paint blemishes. Everything looks nice and tidy. You've got a few little sprue marks on these shoulder tab sections here, but the paint application is very nice. It's a nice clean face sculpt as well. I do hate the fact that these heads kind of have to pop through, and they all do have this same expression. I would like some different heads to be included, but I think I'm pushing my luck a little bit. The colour is very nice. We have exactly the same articulation as we would get on all of the Seekers, with a nice range on the head, up, down, left and right. We get the chest booby cannons, we get the double jointed elbows with the swivel, we get the articulated hands, which unfortunately don't really hold the Megatron gun now, which is a bit of a shame. He's a bit big and they just don't really fit in. He's kind of just designed to clip on in the jet mode. Now, these are the said hip skirts which I was talking to you about. These are the same as the MP3 as opposed to the MP11. They do hinder him slightly, I guess. The legs can kind of come this far forward, which is a pretty good range for a Seeker. And again, going backwards, we are kind of limited, and that's kind of as far back as they go. We have a swivel, and of course we have a bend at the knee, and then we have the little twinkle toes and the heel thrusters, and that's about all he has to offer in the ways of articulation. Here it is with the rest of the Kubianbao Seekers, and as you can see, they do all have the different deco on the wings. Now I decided to put the rocket launcher ones on Starscream and Thundercracker. I'm going to do the same with Skywarp because these are more toy accurate, and the toys did have those firing missiles. I think it's a really nice touch that I've added it. Now these do all look very nice together, although Starscream does actually look a little bit bland, doesn't he, in comparison? And here he is with the Yes model Skywarp as well. You can definitely see the difference in those purples. I stand by my decision that I do still prefer this model. Now, one nice thing about this set is if you picked up the reissue of the Starscream from Toys R Us, he didn't come with a cape and accessories. Now, when you buy the KBB models, they do come with a cape and a crown and the shoulder pads. And of course, they are slightly different colors, but I mean, I think we could get away with putting these on Starscream. I mean, if you're just looking for some and you're prepared to paint them up, it's definitely an option. Now, as mentioned in my other comparison videos, the main difference between these two are the hip skirts and, of course, this extension section on the back of the head. KBB chose to go the same sort of route as iGear, where they keep this large extension section going up, whereas the Yes model decided to use the new MP11 style and have this section split just there. It's not hugely noticeable when you have the bot transformed up at all, really. It's just a matter of preference. And last but not least, here we have Skywarp taking up his rightful place as the king of the Decepticons. That's a pretty good look for him. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you have, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share it, and of course subscribe. And of course, please don't forget to check out my Starscream and my Thundercracker reviews just on the side here. Until next time, from myself and Skywarp, thanks for watching, goodbye.